Whoops. Didn't want that. Sorry, forgot to turn off my there we go. Well, it's that. Hello, welcome to SquishiVision. Disney dropped a lot of stuff yesterday. I'm here to pick it up. I keep saying yesterday. It's Friday. Saturday clearly never happened to me. So yeah, Disney announced a lot of stuff at the Disney Investment Day on Friday, and I'm progressively going through all the stuff I find interesting and giving my thoughts on it. I just did a live stream about the Disney Animated Studio announcements and trailers, and now we're moving on to the Lucasfilm Star Wars announcements. There's also some Lucasfilm announcements about Indiana Jones and Willow, but not anything in extraordinary amount of detail, so I'm not going to bother going into those. Much more interesting is the wide slate of Disney stuff, Star Wars stuff that they've done. These are all the videos I'm going to do. There's 11 in total. We've currently on the second one, which is Andor, and then we have about a few more Star Wars ones, and then we can look at kind of everything that they've announced. First and foremost, we're going to watch the trailer for Andor, and it's not really a trailer. It's a sizzle. It's what Disney are calling a scissor reel, a sizzle reel, and I think a lot of that is primarily because it's not really a trailer or a teaser. It's I hope new footage. I don't know. I'm watching this for the first time. No data. Some new footage, and then also some interviews from the cast. So it'll give us some data that we can look into. Some quick information about Andor, just picking up from the Wikipedia article here. So it's a prequel to Rogue One. It starts casting Andor, who you will remember it was in Rogue One, played by Diego Luna. It's also got in it Stellan Skarsgård of Avengers fame, Adria Arjona, Fiona Shaw, Denise Gough, Kyle Soller, and Genevieve O'Reilly, who plays Mon Mothma. I do know who the character is. I just think I've never actually said her name out loud. So I think that's why I flipped. That's why I slipped. Also because it's like a long day, a long weekend I've had. So bear with me there. Currently, none of the cast except for Luna and O'Reilly have their characters announced. Although it does say here that Alan Tudyk is going to reprise his role as K2SO, so that will be interesting. And it's going to be released in 2022. It was delayed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah, and it's going to be show run by Stephen Schiff, who, just looking briefly at his introduction on Wikipedia, don't really think I'm familiar with. Yeah. So, without further ado, let us watch the scissor reel and see what we think.
Everything I did for the rebellion.
Rogue One, in many ways, it's a film that connected new audiences with the oldest fans. It was a bittersweet feeling, you know, on the premiere, knowing that it was just one film. But then magic happens, right?
As you can see, we're getting ready. We're building stages, we're rehearsing, we're training, we're trying costumes, we're doing everything to make sure we do the best show.
I'm really excited having the chance to explore Cassian. It's really fun to go on a set that is emulating something you like so much.
The enormity of this is like doing a big feature film.
It's very cinematic. For me, that's where the excitement is.
12 episodes, 12 scripts, over 200 named cast members, over 6,000 crowd people, a lot of creatures that come in from the creature department.
We treat this exactly like we would a film. There is no difference in our approach.
Every creature and droid that we've been building has the same care, level of attention to detail as the previous films.
It's huge, it's thrilling, but also it's wonderfully challenging.
There's tons of possibilities to explore. It is the building of a revolution.
Okay, so that's what I guess a sizzle reel is. There doesn't seem to be really any new footage, but it seems like they're actually in the middle of filming it, which is probably why that is the case. Because I think everything which looks like it's done footage is actually from Rogue One, so we only get to see some behind the scenes footage. And I don't think there's really anything that I can sensibly, because I'm not going to go the whole clickbait route of speculating things wildly based on something that I think I see in a corner of a screen. And even like none of the sets are really finished, so it's hard to really tell. I mean, a lot of things in Star Wars can strongly appear to be one planet, but another planet you could see any kind of sand planet was Tatooine. But it could easily be Jakku or really any other sand planet, of which there are many. Like I'm pretty sure I think this is from a Rogue One. I mean, if you've ever heard my opinions on Rogue One, a lot of the first 2 acts of that film really didn't engage me, so I will forgive myself for not remembering. Honestly, I think the most interesting part of this trailer, really, is the part at the end where we basically get a whole bunch of looks at a whole bunch of shots of concept art. Because it reminds me a lot of how they put concept art, or at least what looks like concept art, on the trailer, on the credits of Mandalorian. So here's one. Doesn't really give you anything. I mean, it does kind of, the whole rain wet platform does invoke feelings of a planet that Solo started on, but I don't think it is that. And here we see kind of, I guess, the foundings of the rebellion. It's interesting that I think this guy is wearing what looks like Imperial, or some kind of, well, this is Imperial insignia. So it's possible he's got defective there. And then they've got like a scale model. Well, it looks like a scale model. It probably will end up being a coloured hologram of somewhere they got to attack. Be kind of interesting if it was actually a scale model, much like you'd have in the actual contemporary Earth. But it's probably end up being a hologram. It didn't want to pause in that shot, and that's gone too far. Yep, so Cassian and someone else hiding from TIE fighters on a more rocky planet. They're a cold rocky planet because they're wearing furs. I want you to pause. There we go. Yep, some fun on the speeder bike. This is interesting, because we've got Star Destroyers on the side on a planet. Unclear if they're being built or taken apart. I mean, this is obviously set after the Clone Wars, so it might be they're being taken apart to be repurposed into Imperial Star Destroyers rather than Republic Star Destroyers. But it's kind of interesting how like all this looks very contemporary. Like this could be like any kind of industrial site. I mean, these could almost look like modern roads and modern kind of storage bays. But yeah, this is a kind of interesting shot. I hope this is a concept shot actually turns up in the actual series. Because I actually quite like the shot. Then casting some sort of Subatmos fighter craft, a smashed window, looking a bit bruised. This looks interesting. Very much kind of what you expect Star Wars to kind of depict a library or information center or some kind of data storage area to look like. The stiff kind of, these are clearly Imperial officers here. You can tell by the stance and kind of the hats and things like that. Because I did think it did look a lot like the clone facility on Kamino, but it clearly isn't that. And you got all these Imperial droids, like spy droids here as well. And then Andor, yeah. So kind of nice first look into that. I do wish it kind of, I don't know. I'm not really that fussed about this series, and I do kind of hate how we've got this habit of naming things after like characters. Like, it's such an imaginative title. Like Rogue One is a imaginative title. It invokes all, like, even if you know anything about Star Wars, it invokes a lot. Like the name Rogue One, like, you know, it's about rebelling, you know, it's about, you know, one kind of gives a very solitude feeling. It tells you a lot about the thematic themes of the film. Andor doesn't tell you anything unless you know who the character is. And I've said before, I didn't really like Rogue One. I think the whole movie, the only good part was the last act. I think the whole movie should have been the last act. The first two acts tried to make me care about characters, and I ultimately didn't care about the characters. Nothing about anything in the first two acts engaged me. I think I cared more about the people who I didn't learn about, the rebel soldiers who get shot on the beach just in the background. I think I care more about them and not knowing their life and then just dying, forgotten, more than I care about the main characters dying. So yeah, not that kind of. I mean, I'll watch it because I like absorbing as much Star Wars as I can, and you know, a lot of other TV series are doing now are kind of redeeming some of the lesser, well-executed parts of Star Wars. So we'll see what that does with the series, and hopefully I'm any more interested in this character than I ever was with him in Rogue One. Okay, we're going to move rapidly on because I have a lot of stuff to go into. So what is the next thing we're going to probably be doing? I think it's going to be Bad Batch, which might be a more interesting trailer to look into. So tune in a couple of minutes and we will look at Bad Batch.